Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Mr. J Hunter 02, and today we got another top 10, and it's my top 10 favorite World at War maps. So this was my very first Call of Duty in a sense. I mean, I watched my brother play a lot of Call of Duty 4, I would play split screen with him. You know, I never got into COD 4, but World at War was the first game that I owned myself, and I put a lot of time into. So technically this is my first Call of Duty. And yeah, this list is based purely off of nostalgia. I haven't really played the game in so long. I mean, I played maybe a few hours of it like a year ago, but I haven't put in a lot of time in, so this list is basically based off of nostalgia and my opinions on the game a long time ago. So with getting that out of the way, let's get right into the list. So number 10 might be a little controversial for a lot of you, but it's going to be Dome. This is the smallest map in World at War, and for some people it's their favorites, but for me, I don't really like it that much because the only way you could really do good on this map is if you're running MP40 round drum mag. It's not really a rifle or a sniper map, and it doesn't really play towards all the different play styles in World at War, so that's why it comes in at number 10. And number 9, we got one of my favorites, if not my favorite DLC map. It's Banzai. This map played out so well with that awesome bridge down mid and the whole cave system on the side. I feel like the bridge played awesome, and it was a central focal point of the map, which made the map have really good flow, and overall I just had an enjoyable experience every time I played it. Number 8 is going to be Airfield. This is a very open map. It's not the biggest map, but it has a lot of open area, so this map plays very well to snipers and those semi-automatic rifles. But even with all that open area, there's still some very good close quarters and medium quarters areas, so you could still run those submachine guns and shotguns and all that. I feel like this map plays to every single playstyle in World at War, and that's why it's just an overall solid map. Number 8 is going to be Cliffside. Looking back, this is the map that pretty much got me to buy World at War. I saw one of my friends play this, and I just completely fell in love with the game just by watching him play it. So this is pretty much the map that got me into Call of Duty, and it's a very well made map. The middle lane is perfect for snipers, and the two side lanes are awesome for SMGs and shotguns, so you can pretty much use whatever you want. I mean, the rifles might not be the most viable choice, but you can still use them and do pretty well. This map is just very well made, and it's very pretty. So number 6 is going to be Asylum. This is a very hectic map because most of the fighting goes on inside that asylum, and both the main spawns are outside, but once you spawn, you immediately rush inside that asylum instantly. That's where most of the fighting goes on, and it's super fast paced and super close quarters, and overall I love Asylum. It's always a blast playing this map. So number 5 is going to be Upheaval. The reason this map does so well is because of all the buildings on the side. You pretty much play around those buildings, and there's always somebody looking out from one. So the way you play this map is you run from building to building, checking the tops of each building to make sure you kill all those snipers or the people that's looking out in the main street. So the main fight is mostly on the sides and in the buildings, and when I played this map, I just overall had a very fun experience, and this was a very chaotic map. For number 4, we got Hangar. This map is so great because the whole map revolves around the hangar. I feel like it's very well balanced. It's not too easy to hold the hangar, and it's not too easy to breach into the hangar. It's just very fair, and most of the fights are either happening inside of the hangar or right outside. The map isn't too big. I feel like it's got some pretty solid spawns. And overall, I feel like it's just a fair map, and it just plays out nicely. That's just how most of the World at War maps play out. They're just solid maps, and they play out well. There's really not many problems with most of these maps. They're just solid Call of Duty maps, and that's why you won't see them on a lot of people's top 10 favorite Call of Duty maps of all time, but you won't ever see many on people's top 10 least favorite Call of Duty maps. World at War overall had quality built multiplayer maps, and that's why I love the game. It's just a solid game in general. Number 3 is going to be Making Day. So it's either between this or Making, and personally I like Making Day better just because it's easier to see people and it's more action packed. When you have people trying to sneak around in the darkness, there's a lot less action, and Making Day just plays out a lot better. Making Day is amazing because I love the whole town above water. It's just awesome because there's nice bottleneck choke points in that town. There's that awesome sniper tower that a lot of people go to. I love being able to sneak under the town in the water. This map plays out so nice. It's got so many different vantage points, and the great thing about World at War maps is each map has multiple different power positions, that's what I would call them, and there's always one center battle. People will always either be battling around the sniper tower, around the round hut, or even like the back of the map. There's always just one center battle that people are always flocking to, and like halfway into the map, the center battle will maybe focus to another spot. I mean, World at War maps just play out so well, and Macon plays out just amazing. So number 2 and number 1 are very close for me. Number 2 is going to be Courtyard. This originally was my favorite World at War map way back when I played it. I loved this map, and the reason it's not number 1 right now is because looking back, it might not be as well made as the number 1 spot, but it's just a fan favorite, and it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite, in World at War. Courtyard, in my opinion, is the second smallest map. I feel like it's the perfect balance between small and medium sized. There's just constant action on this map, so there's not really any downtime in this map. It's just very action packed, and it's not too chaotic like Dome is. It's the perfect size, and the map plays out so well. So for number 1, we got Castle. Castle is such a perfectly made map, and in my opinion, it's the pinnacle of World at War maps. It's got the build of a World at War map, but it's just perfection in the sense that it has multiple great power positions built into the map. It's got, in a way, 3 lanes. It's got amazing flanking routes, and it's not too easy to hold a position. And overall, this map it's just action-packed. I would say it's a medium to big-sized map. Overall, it's a big map, but there's a lot of areas in this map that aren't really used. And the thing that I love about this map is the thing that I look for in a perfect Call of Duty map. It's got multiple power positions, and the amazing thing about this map is sometimes the main battle will be around the castle. Most of the time, the main battle will be in that second story of the castle. Sometimes it'll be way back in the corner of the map around that big wall. I haven't played the map in a while, so I don't really know what to call it. And sometimes it'll be in just straight up the back of the map. This map is like multiple tiny maps into one. It's amazing, it's a very unique map, and every time I play it, it plays so well. It's a very fair map, it's a very nice looking map, and it's just the pinnacle of what World at War maps are. So quickly, we got 2 honorable mentions. The first one is going to be Outskirts. This is the only map on here that has a tank, because the only maps that have tanks are the really huge maps, and those aren't the best, but I don't think those maps were bad. They were fun to play. They weren't the most action-packed, but they had some very good fights, and the tanks made it interesting. The tanks weren't too overpowered. So Outskirts is, in my opinion, the best tank map, and it's overall a solid map. And the final honorable mention is going to be another DLC map, and it's Revolution. This map is hardly talked about at all, but it's one of my favorite DLC maps. It had such great fights between the tops of the buildings and the bottom. I feel like most of the time people are trying to run up to the second story of these buildings and just running around. If I remember correctly, this map was pretty much a big square. It had the main street and had buildings on the outsides, and you could go to the second story of all these buildings, and it was all connected, so you could pretty much just run around the map from either the street or the second story of these buildings. And the main fight was usually on the second story, but sometimes you could get on the street and pick people off from the top, or there would just straight up be a battle in the streets, and that was amazing too. This map is very underrated, and I love Revolution. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know down in the comments how you thought of this list, and if there's any World at War maps that did make it on that you thought should have. So thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.